So then you start to put it together a little differently.
And they're probably working in the back of your head subconsciously, too, because even though you're not doing comedy for 3 months, you're still probably thinking, in 3 months I'm going to do comedy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So it's probably like working in the background.
Most likely.
Yeah, for sure. That's what they say sleeping on it is all about.
Yeah, like if you're the piano piece, if you can't figure it out, you play it before you go to bed a bunch of times, and then all of a sudden the next morning you wake up and you're like, fiddle-a-doo.
There's been a few times where I woke up in the middle of the night to pee, and I realized how to fix a joke. Yeah, just like all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's it. It just needed one more little ingredient.
It is a fun eureka moment when you fix a bit.
Dude, what is it? Where's it coming from?
Like, where's the joy coming from?
No, where's the ideas coming from? Where the fuck are they coming from?
I think they do sit. I think there's a part back there that's just constantly going, and we don't hear about it. And then when it's done, they're like, get it to the fucking front.
Yeah, but even the creation of an idea is so mysterious. I mean, that's why people invoke the concept of the muse. You know, that's the Stephen Pressfield, he like swears by it. That the War of Art book is all about the muse, about summoning the muse when you write. There's something weird going on, I'll tell you that, because it seems like they just like enter into your head like a photon, like some shit from space, just doop, all of a sudden it's in there, and like, oh, how's an idea? And even though it's your idea, like I take credit for writing, like I'll take credit for fixing jokes, I'll take credit for like going up. I always feel like I can't really take credit for the original idea. The original idea is almost like this little gift.
Absolutely.
You know?
Like you see something, or somebody's doing something, and you go, oh shit, and that sparks something, and you just go, all right, I gotta write this down.
Sometimes you just say it out of nowhere. You just say it. Like you don't even know why you're saying it, you're just saying it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you didn't even think that much. It just came out.
Yeah, there's times where on stage where you're just all of a sudden riffing a bit and you hit them with something and they start clapping. You're like, oh, goddamn, thank God I'm recording this.
Oh, yeah, sometimes. Sometimes that's the best part of the bit. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how is that the best part of the bit?
It's almost like you're playing chess in your head and you are 7 steps ahead, but you don't even know it.
Right. It's a weird fucking art form. Weird art form. It's one of the only art forms where almost everybody writes their own stuff. Like, if you think about musicians, there's a lot of musicians who write their own music, and they're kind of revered, right? Whereas musicians, when you go to see a musician, like a singer-songwriter, and they write their own stuff, you sit there and you're like, wow, this person crafted this in their mind and practiced it alone, and, you know, there's something, like, magical about that. But you can go see, like, a really talented singer that has writers that write for them, and they're great, too. But you don't feel the same, you know?
Yeah, because you feel like you're good at playing the guitar, you have a great voice, you're good at making someone else's work. Like, I used to audition for stuff. I am a fucking toilet at auditioning. It's the truth. I go in there and it's somebody else's words, and I'm just you can hear the people in front of you, they're getting huge laughs. I go in there nothing. I don't know. I don't think I'd be a good singer of someone else's song. I think I'd have to write it.
I never wanted to be an actor. I had zero acting. No wishes, no dreams, no aspirations, zero. Just wanted to be a comic. And then I got a development deal from doing MTV. And then because of this development deal, I wound up being on a sitcom. So my point is, I did 2 auditions ever. One was for a show called Hardball. I got that show. And that show got canceled. And another one was for a show called News Radio. And I got that show. And that was the only 2 that I had ever done.
Good for you.
It was the nuttiest thing of all time. People would get so mad at me. I'm like, look, I just stepped in shit. I got super lucky. Like, they were looking for a cocky baseball player for this show on Fox. And I went in and they met me and they're like, oh, this is the guy.
That's great.
And then I did this show where I played a mentally challenged conspiracy theorist maintenance guy at a radio station. That was perfect, too. Yeah, I was like, I got these.
They always sent me in for these auditions where it was like, I was 30-something years old, and it would be 22 good-looking. And you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? I went in one time, and it was like an Abercrombie and Fitch shoot.
Oh, God.
And so I go in, and I'm looking around. Everyone's a foot taller than me, chiseled jawline. I'm like,
there's just agents will throw anything at the wall. Yeah. I went in I definitely did a bunch of auditions after those shows that I didn't wind up getting, like for movies and stuff like that. They're all so weird. You're in a room with someone, and then, you know, you have to improvise. Sometimes they ask you to improvise. Like, look, this is neat. One time I went in for the reading, and the PA was this kid. It's not the kid's fault, you know, but he's reading the script. He's terrible. and you're supposed to be reacting,
Yeah.
and he's barely getting the sentence right. And then you're supposed to have this realistic reaction to this, you know? And then they were like, you know, I want you, this is what the guy said. He goes, I want you to get, you're very excited, your friend is getting married, you're very excited. I want you to write down on a piece of paper, you know, get married. You're trying to talk him into getting married. And I'm go, so you want me to do this with this guy? I go, look, if you want to bring in an actor, and me and an actor can fuck around, I go, he's barely getting through these conversations. This is silly. Then I was like, I don't want to be an actor. I'm like, I realized, like, why am I even here? Like, I don't want to do this. Let me get the fuck out of here.
Nowhere in real life would somebody go, I'm thinking about getting married, and your response is, you gotta get married. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was a dumb script. The movie was terrible. But a friend of mine was in it. And I was like, it would be fun to do a movie with them. And then, but going on the audition, I'm like, what am I doing? It was just one of those movies. It was written for fake people. It was written in some weird, trying so hard to make people is totally disingenuous. Like every word that you wrote for them here. You know?
Yeah. Have you seen the show Suits?
I have not.
Okay, so they have this really weird cadence where they'll say, and I'm not gonna goddamn do it. They use goddamn in front of stuff, but it's every character.
Oh god.
And so you're like, how did all these people meet?
Is it from the 20s or something?
No, it's like,
it's current.
Yeah, I think it's still on. I think it just had a thing.
Oh, that's bad writing. Or a bunch of people that are like really easily influenced. You know.
Yeah,
that's where accents come from. Like one fucking dude probably talked a certain way, and everybody's like, "That guy sounds cool." I was talking like this too.
I was reading that some people have a thing in their head where when they're talking to someone with an accent, to make that person feel more comfortable, they start to speak in the accent without even knowing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I realized I only lived in Boston for like 6 years, and I was 19, and I was on television. No idea my accent was so strong. It's like, yuck.
A Boston accent?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh, interesting.
So I killed it for the most part until I get a couple of drinks in me.
Yeah, that's the same with me. You put whiskey in me, and I get a little Canadian.
Yeah, especially if I'm around my friends from Boston. We're all talking shit to each other. Mm-hmm. Those guys talk shit.
Yeah, you fucking cocksucker.
Yeah, the best place to do stand-up. Because to develop there, like you are, that treadmill is going. You got to hop on. You got to move. Get moving. Everybody's moving. Nobody in the audience has any attention span. They don't want to hear you dilly dally and pontificate up there. They want. But it's not even necessarily blue collar, because there's a lot of like white collar people that come to the shows too. It's just like work ethic. When you have to shovel your car out of snow every fucking year, you have work ethic. You can't get up at 8 o'clock to be at work at 9. No, you have to get up at 7 because you got an hour of shoveling to do.
Yeah, defrost the windshield.
Yeah, you got to do all that shit. You got to start the car up, let it run, heat the inside to defrost the windshield, get the fucking scraper, and then you're out there on a fucking skating rink. Your street's a skating rink, so you have to drive 5 miles an hour, and you have to make sure that you hit the brakes way before the car in front of you, or you're going to cause a pileup. I saw so many pileups, man.
Yeah.
Whew. God
I grew up in Minnesota. I lived in Minnesota my whole life.
And so you've seen it.
It's just nonstop.
I think Minnesota's the #1 state where people die in deer accidents. Is it the number one?
Getting shot, you mean?
No. Deer on the road.
Oh, God. Yeah, I would
Car
think
accidents.
that. I would think that.
It's either Michigan or Minnesota. I forget which one. But those places, you grow up in a place like that, man, you develop some resilience. Yeah. Those are different human beings. Yeah. You grow up in fucking Florida, the only thing you have to worry about, the sky becomes an angry god every couple of years.
Yeah. I remember
Pennsylvania. 38 chance of hitting an animal. So you drive for 2 months, you're going to hit one in West Virginia. Pennsylvania's 1 in 59. That's still high. But 1 in 38 is crazy. 1 in 38 means every month you're hitting a fucking deer. That is so crazy. That is so crazy. It doesn't mean that. It means overall the time of your life. 1 in 38. But that's a lot.
I've never hit a deer. It's probably stupid to put out into the universe.
Yeah.
But I've never hit.
I've never hit one either. I did hit a squirrel once. I felt so bad. little guy was moving left and juking left and right,
That's
not sure. And I'm like, come on, fucker, don't do this. Don't do this. And he did it. And I felt the thump. I'm like, oh, no. And I look back and I see his little legs kicking. But you know what? Vultures have to eat, too. That's what that's all about, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
That's a weird thing, too, when you see a dead animal and you're like, oh. And then you come back like 20 minutes later, you see these monsters hovering over it, devouring it.
Just gone.
They're so gross.
Pulling everything out.
Oh, religion, I don't know what they're practicing. Vultures are just devouring these human beings. And we think it's gross, right? But isn't it grosser that you waste the body? That guy looked a little too cute to be there. Vultures.
Jesus, this is like when pelicans follow a fishing boat.
Oh, they 100% know what's going on because they've been doing it all the time.
It's a tourist attraction in some part of
Jesus Christ.
Oh, there they go.
So then I'm going to show you hacking the guy up.
Forget it.
But there's plenty of other videos that are more documentary style that show like very graphic images of this person just hacking apart this body.
How big? How big do they cut the pieces?
Just like chunks.
Okay.
And the vultures, you saw how they are. They're like piranha.
Yeah.
They're all just on it.
Yeah.
And they just devour everything. They devour the bones. They devour everything. Isn't that better? Though, I mean, look, nobody wants their loved one to be reduced to meat, you know, but is it better that you're taking your loved one and you're pumping them filled with some toxic chemical that makes it so that they'll never rot? You can exhume them years later and find fentanyl traces and shit. Like,
if you believe like in something else, like something's going on afterlife wise,
right?
I mean, the soul's gone anyways. It's it's the vessel that you're putting in the ground or letting vultures eat.
And if you believe that this person was murdered, like, do a better job now. Like, how much time do you need? You know, do it and film it and get all your. I guess maybe like that. Remember that HBO show, Autopsy? Did you ever remember that show? There's a great show by this guy, Dr. Michael Baden, and Dr. Michael Baden would always catch like husbands that poisoned their wives secretly, or wives that had poisoned all their husbands, and people that had killed people like in secret, sneaky ways and gotten away with it. And then he gets on the case and he finds like really crazy examples. One of them was this one guy, and after his wife had died, I don't even know if it was his wife. It was maybe his girlfriend. But he kept buying cases of perfume, and no one could figure out why this guy was doing this. But he left his wife in the bed and never reported that she was dead, and kept fucking her and put like a mask on her, and then eventually put like some artificial vagina down there, and the perfume, he was pouring perfume on her to mask the decay. And so eventually, finally, they caught him, but they got these images of what used to be his wife with like a mask on the face, and there was clothes on what's left of this body, and then there's this like tube where the vagina is, and this fucking psycho was banging her corpse and like passing out from the smell, and just cases of perfume. This dude was just pouring perfume all over her corpse.
I feel like I could solve that crime.
You have to be in the room. I mean, you have to be like in the neighborhood or something. Have you ever smelled a body? When I was a kid, the apartment that we lived in New Jersey, this guy died on one of the floors, and the smell is insane. It's so specific. It's so different. A rotting human body apparently has a very unique odor, and like the coroners and the guys that get called in, like when there's a smell, they know what it is right away. They go, that's a person. It's different than a dog.
Yeah, I was going to say, mice die in my garage, and I can't go in there for 2 days. Yeah. I mean, it sucks. So a person's got.
Oh my God, it was horrible. It's the whole hallway. You couldn't specify like where it was coming from. It was like a skunk. You know, it was everywhere. The whole hallway just reeked this like. It was just like the universe letting you know, get out of there. get the fuck out. It's giving you this smell. Not just New Jersey, I mean that hallway.
Sure.
It's giving you the smell of death. It's a very specific smell.
Do you know how the guy died?
I don't remember. I was a little kid. Yeah. I think I was 5 at the time. But I'll never forget that smell. I was like, whoa. Because he was in there for a while. You know, he's some loner. And he just fucking one day kicked the bucket. It took a while for anybody to figure it out, and they figured it out because of the smell.
And then how long did it take them to get him out of there?
I don't remember. I was too little. I don't remember. But it was a very, very specific smell. It was gross. But it is weird what we do. It's weird that Joey Diaz was trying to lay this out to me. He's like, Joe Rogan, that's a fucking scam. This is the scam. Even if you want to get cremated, they got to embalm you first. They got to embalm you first. And you're going to buy an urn. They got you. They got you for 10, 14, 15 grand every time. They're going to tell you your grandfather wants a beautiful coffin. He's fucking dead. What are we doing? It's like this weird thing that everybody does where you have to get your person embalmed and then you get them made up, which is the creepiest.
My daughter has a friend who her boyfriend's sister died, and she's getting into makeup and hair for a living, and they asked her to do the makeup and hair of the dead sister.
My God.
How the fuck would you, like, someone has to sign up for that.
Yeah, that has to be your very specific job. That's not regular makeup.
Yeah, it's not like you go into, like a Great Clips or something and ask somebody like, hey, my grandpa died, can you come help?
Bro, that might haunt you for the rest of your life, especially if you know the
No
person.
way. Absolutely.
Oh.
I'd like a Viking funeral.
Oh, Viking funeral's dope. But a Viking funeral, again, you're kind of wasting the body. If you just put it in the ground, that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to go back to nature. I guess a Viking funeral, eventually, you get back into the system. You just take it the long run.
Yeah.
You turn back into carbon again. Yeah. This is going to take so much time. But you're going right into microbes. And essentially, what's inside of you starts eating you first, if I'm not mistaken. I think all the bacteria in your body you start breaking down from that stuff. I think a lot of weird things happen. But then the stuff on the outside figures out you're dead. And then the soil starts devouring you.
Going for it. Have you seen the people that get put into trees?
Yeah.
That's wild.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Or like a diamond.
Yeah.
They get pressed down.
But trees definitely live well off of fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from dead animals. Yeah, they eat what's there. They take it in, suck it up, which is what fertilizer is. Which is why our food sucks, because we give them fake food. We basically feed our processed food, right? Because nitrogen is what we take nitrogen and a bunch of other bullshit chemicals, and we pour it on this dead topsoil so that these poor corn can survive. And then we eat the corn, and there's like no nourishment. And they're like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I remember by these fields, and you're like, this has been fucking corn since I was in 3rd grade.
There's no way you can rotate.
Huh?
Yeah. That's what they're all doing in the regenerative farms. Regenerative farms, they move everything around. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how everyone's done it from the beginning of time. What is that? Mushrooms that eat your body?
Suit you wear to get buried, and then you turn into mushrooms.
But they're going to embalm you, man. Unless you live in a place that lets you opt out of that. Unless this is for another country.
Yeah.
What are the laws in America? Let's find out what the laws are. When you die, do they have to embalm you? Because this is what Joey was saying. But that might have been very specific. It might be regional. It might be like certain cities.
They embalm you before you go into a cooker?
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you just went in.
Not required by law.
Not required, but they probably talked to him into it then. That's probably what it
It
is.
says, in fact, the FTC funeral law forbids any funeral home from stating the contrary.
Interesting. That's because they've done it.
Oh, absolutely. All they're trying to do is shame you, make you feel bad.
Listen, you have to embalm, sir. According to federal law, it's forbidden to declare that embalming can entirely stop the process of decomposition. Oh, but that's different. Or if the remains are being transported between states. So funeral homes will require embalming. Entombed in a mausoleum. Ew.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Embalming can help their loved ones see their loved ones for the last time. You know what? I have only been to one funeral where I saw one of my loved ones. It was my grandfather. And I was like, he is not there. Like, whatever they left there, that's not my grandpa. He's gone.
Yeah, when they go, oh, he looks so natural. Well, he wasn't fucking orange when I knew him.
Fuck no.
Uh-uh.
No. He does not look natural. He looks weird.
Yeah.
There's like a part of you that knows that whatever a person is in their soul, whatever a soul is, it's off.
Yeah, that's gone.
It's off. Yeah, it's gone. And it's weird. It's a weird feeling that you get when you're on a dead body. It's like,
Especially one that you knew so well.
oh yeah. It's a wake-up call, because you just realize, like, oh my God, like this comes for everyone. One day, everyone in your life is going to go like that. And if you're lucky, you're going to see it. Is that what the luck is? You know, if you live long enough. I was switching phone numbers the other day, and I was going over my phone, my contact list, and there's so many people in there that are dead. I just kept pulling out people that were dead. I was like, oh, he's gone. Oh, he's gone. It was crazy.
How long has it been since you switched last time?
Well, it's just, I got a bunch of old numbers, you know, from dudes that I haven't talked to in forever. That, you know, you just, when you have an iPhone, you just keep getting a new number, and you just, somehow or another, all the numbers come with you. Yeah. There's so many of my friends that are dead. So sobering, you know, when you just start counting the numbers, like, oh, fuck, Norm Macdonald. Oh, fuck. You know, and you just go through all of it, and you're like, fuck, he's gone too, you know? And you do not see it coming. It hits you like a train, especially when they take their own life. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And then there's always that guilt of like, fuck, maybe if I talk to him. You do not see it coming. It hits you. Jesus Christ. And then there's always that guilt of like, fuck, maybe if I talk to him. Maybe if I had one conversation. Or maybe that's just your ego.
Yeah, because I think once you're over that line, I don't think there's a...
But I think every circumstance is different.
Yeah, I guess there's that one dude that used to live by a bridge, and he would go out and talk.
That lived, and he said as he jumped, he'd realize what a horrible mistake he made, and he wanted to take it back, but he couldn't. And he lived, but he's all fucked up, but lived a happier life. Like, was thankful that he was alive, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I used to bartend, and this dude would come in, and he was missing his jaw.
He's talking to 200 people off the ledge.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Highway patrol officer. I bet that guy's a smooth talker. I have a buddy who jumped off that bridge.
No shit?
Yeah. Tony Anagoni, who's a professional pool player. Good jokes.
Especially if it's the life of the party that does it.
Right.
What the fuck? I could have picked 10 other guys besides you.
Right. You imagine Robin Williams. Imagine watching Robin Williams on any... Did you ever see that commercial where he's doing a commercial and he won't stop fucking with it? And the director's trying to get him to stop fucking around. And he's like, will not stop.
I thought he was losing it.
You play it, Jamie? You see it?
Would you mind into the camera?
It's already great. Look, his back is to the camera. Look, he's a different guy now.
Just do the line so we...